The ball crosses the line, and a whole country screams at once. Not a stadium, a country. In 1,000 living rooms, in bars, on streets, in cities hundreds of miles apart, millions of people who will never meet leap from their seats in the same half-second. Strangers grab each other. Grown adults cry. A man you have never spoken to throws his arms around you, and for a moment he is not a stranger at all. He is one of yours. You probably think this is just excitement, just sport, just fun. But the real answer is far stranger. For those 90 minutes, something reached into millions of separate human beings and briefly fused them into a single thing. One mood, one heartbeat, one enormous animal made of people. You did not decide to feel that. It happened to you. And the machinery that did it is older than the game, older than your country, older than written history. The World Cup did not invent that feeling. It hijacked it. Let that sit for a moment. Because here is the strange truth underneath all of it. You are not built for a nation. Your mind, the actual instrument doing the feeling, was shaped for something far smaller. For most of human history, you would have lived your entire life inside a group of maybe a few dozen to a couple of hundred people. You would have known every face, every name, every relationship. That was your whole world, and your brain was tuned exquisitely to exactly that scale. So what happens when you take a mind built for a tribe of 100 and ask it to feel a nation of 50 million? This is the question that haunts a researcher named Robin Dunbar. Dunbar is the anthropologist behind a famous idea you may have heard of, a number that carries his name. By looking at the size of the brain's social regions across primates, he estimated the natural limit of how many real relationships a human can hold at once. The number he landed on was around 150. 150 people you can actually know, track, and care about as individuals. Beyond that, the mind simply runs out of room. That circle, roughly the size of an ancient band or a village, is the group your social instincts were designed for. 150, not 50 million. And yet, when your team scores, you feel bound to millions of people you will never lay eyes on. So how does a brain built for a village come to feel a whole nation as kin? How does the World Cup smuggle the feeling of family across a country of strangers? The answer is that it borrows the oldest tools your ancestors ever used to turn strangers into family. And the first of those tools is the ritual. Think about what actually happens during a match. Thousands of people sing the same song at the same moment. They wear the same colors. They raise their arms together, gasp together, fall silent together, erupt together. Their bodies move in time. And this synchrony, this moving and sounding as one, is not decoration. Dunbar's research points to something remarkable about it. When humans act in unison, when they sing, chant, dance, and move together, the brain releases a flood of endorphins, the same chemicals tied to bonding and to the warm closeness you feel with people you love. Moving as one literally makes strangers feel like kin. The crowd is not just expressing a bond. The crowd is manufacturing one in real time, in the blood. Your ancestors did this around fires, in dances that lasted all night, in songs passed down for 1,000 generations. The stadium is just the newest fire. The chant is just the newest song. But the feeling does not stay in the stadium. It pours out across the whole country. And to understand that, you have to meet a thinker from more than a century ago. His name was Emil Durkheim, one of the founders of sociology, and he was fascinated by what happens to people gathered in a crowd around something sacred. He noticed that when a group comes together in shared ritual, a strange energy appears that does not belong to any single person. The individuals seem to dissolve. The boundary between you and the people around you thins. You start to feel lifted, carried, fused into something larger than yourself. Durkheim gave this a name. He called it collective effervescence, the boiling over of the group, a moment when a crowd stops being a pile of separate people and briefly becomes one living body, feeling one feeling. You have felt it. The roar after a goal is collective effervescence made audible. For that instant, you are not a person watching a game. You are a cell in something vast, and the vastness is feeling joy through you. So the ritual binds the crowd, and the effervescence dissolves the self. But there is a third tool, and it is the sharpest of them all. Because to feel like one tribe, you need something every tribe has always needed. You need a them. This is where a psychologist named Henry Tajfel comes in, and what he found should unsettle you a little. Tajfel wanted to know how little it takes for human beings to split into us and them. So he ran a now famous set of experiments. He took strangers and divided them into groups based on nothing at all, the flip of a coin, a preference for one painting over another, meaningless, random labels. And then he watched what they did. Almost instantly, people began to favor their own group and act against the other. They gave rewards to their side. They took from the other side, even when it cost them. With no history, no reason, no real difference between them whatsoever, the human mind snapped into tribes the moment it was given a line to draw. Sit with how little it took. Not a war, not a wrong, just a label and a color. Now give that same mind a flag. Give it an anthem, a shirt, a team, a name shouted by millions. The World Cup hands your tribal instinct the most vivid yes and them it will ever be offered. Your nation in one color, charging forward. The other in another, the enemy for 90 minutes. And the part of you that Tajfel uncovered, the part that will divide the world over the flip of a coin, lights up like a fire catching dry grass. This is why the feeling runs so deep and why it can turn so dark. The same instinct that makes you embrace a stranger in your colors makes you despise a stranger in theirs. The warmth and the hostility are not two different things. They are the same ancient machine, the one that for hundreds of thousands of years sorted the world into the people who would protect you and the people who might kill you. Belonging and enmity were always two faces of one survival tool. The World Cup lights up both at once, and your body knows it. It treats the match as something far more serious than a game. There is a striking study by a researcher named Paul Bernhardt and his colleagues that measured the hormones of sports fans before and after their team played. Not the players, the fans, the people sitting and watching, doing nothing physical at all. And what they found was that when a fan's team won, the fan's testosterone rose, as if he himself had triumphed in a contest. When the team lost, it fell, as if he himself had been defeated. Your body does not fully understand that you are only watching. On some ancient level, it believes your group is in a real fight, and that the outcome is your outcome. You are not observing the battle. As far as your blood is concerned, you are in it. Think about what that means. A mind built for a tribe of 150. A ritual that floods you with the chemistry of belonging. A crowd that dissolves you into something larger. An instinct that snaps the world into us and them at the smallest excuse. And a body that pumps the hormones of war while you sit on a couch. Stack all of that together, point it at 11 strangers in your colors, and you get the thing you felt when the ball crossed the line. Not excitement, possession. For a moment, an entire nation was hijacked by the oldest software a human being carries. But here is the twist, and it is the part that makes all of this more than a curiosity. The nation you felt so fused with does not really exist the way your gut insists it does. You will never meet those millions. You share no village, no fire, no face-to-face bond with the vast majority of the people screaming alongside you. The tribe your instincts are responding to is, in the strict sense, an illusion, a story your ancient mind is being told by colors and songs and a ball. And yet the feeling is completely real. The hug is real. The tears are real. The goosebumps when the anthem plays are real. So which is it? A trick or a truth? Maybe it is both. Maybe the World Cup works precisely because it gives a modern, scattered, lonely human animal something it almost never gets anymore. For most of history, that feeling of being swept up into a group larger than yourself was a regular part of being alive. The all-night dance, the harvest gathering, the whole band moving and singing as one. You were built to feel that, often, and then the world changed. The village dissolved into cities of strangers. The fire went out. The shared songs faded. Most people now go their entire lives rarely feeling that ancient fusion at all. And then, every few years, for a few weeks, a game gives it back. That is why it feels like so much more than sport. Even though the thinking part of you knows it is just a ball and a net, it is not really about the ball. It is about the one moment left in modern life when a whole nation moves as one body, when a stranger becomes kin, when you stop being a single small person and become, briefly, part of something enormous and alive. The thing you are actually craving is older than football by 100,000 years. The game is just the last fire we all still gather around. None of this makes the feeling foolish. If anything, it makes it precious. The jump out of your seat, the arms around a stranger, the tears you did not expect, they are not signs that you have been fooled by a game. They are signs that something deep and human is still alive in you. The part that knows, all the way down, that you were never meant to face the world alone. The ball crosses the line, and a whole country screams at once. You thought it was just a game, just excitement, just fun. But it was never just that. It was 150,000 years of belonging, compressed into a single roar. It was your tribe, the one your body never stopped looking for, found again for 90 minutes in the faces of strangers. And when you threw your arms around the man beside you, the one you had never met and will never see again, the oldest part of you was not confused at all. It knew exactly what it was doing. It had simply come home.